To your 4 to 5, Eric, Maddie, and Lauren with you today, and a special guest too.
Yes, we are celebrating Tanya Rivera's 50th birthday today. Hey, T.
Hello, hello.
That's it. There we go. We love it.
Well, they're having lots of fun out there. We're going to check in with Tanya in just a few minutes, but first we want to jump into some of your headlines first. Randolph County School Board members say masks will be optional for students and staff this year. The board was unanimous with their vote last night. They say masks will be optional, no matter the vaccination status of students and staff. This is the first TRIAD school district to make this decision for the fall. Right now, the state mask mandate still requires masks to be worn in school settings. Representatives for Guilford County Schools and Winston-Salem Forsyth County Schools say for now they are following the state guidance. If state leaders make any changes, the districts say they would discuss what that means for their students.
Every COVID-19 metric in North Carolina is spiking other than the number of people getting vaccinated. So that means cases, the percent of tests coming back positive, and hospitalizations are all on the rise. Today, Dr. David Priest with Novant Health said the average age of COVID patients in their hospitals dropped from 61 to 47. Younger people are getting sick enough to go to the hospital because of COVID, and nearly all of the patients admitted are unvaccinated. The answer to the problem, he says, is vaccinations.
Essentially COVID is a preventable disease now. And the likelihood that you're going to get COVID if you're unvaccinated today is really just getting higher day by day.
Dr. Priest says eventually everyone is going to have COVID antibodies, either from getting a vaccine or from getting the virus. But he says the vaccine is a much safer way to get those antibodies rather than getting a serious infection from COVID.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. High Point police say a car they originally thought was a suspect who fired shots outside the Palladium Sunday night was actually the witness, a car of a witness. Investigators are no longer looking for the white SUV. Again, saying it was a witness driving away. Someone fired shots outside the theater late Sunday night. No one was injured, but 2 cars were hit. No arrests have been made at this time. And Twitter suspended Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene and put a 12-hour freeze on her account. The company said she shared tweets which violated the company's misinformation policy. The Georgia Republican claimed that the virus was not dangerous to anyone who was not obese or under the age of 65. Despite thousands of deaths in those categories, Twitter warned if she continued to share misinformation, she could be banned permanently. And a popular East Memphis fast food restaurant is back open in Greensboro, The Chick-fil-A on Pisgah Church Road has been closed for weeks while crews remodeled the location and expanded the drive-through lanes. Today it reopened and also allowed customers back into the dining room for the first time since the pandemic.
Yes, I saw it open today and I might have swung by for a little chicken sandwich. Hey, let's talk a little bit about our weather today. It's been not that hot compared to how we've been. And if you look at the sky, it looks a little different. I want to show you this sky camera from Greensboro. Obviously, looks a little milky, a little hazy here. It's not just humid. There's actually something else going on. Our temperature is 82, which is pretty tolerable for this time of year, not feeling quite as bad. But it's the same story in High Point. You see that milkiness there? There is a haze to the sky. This is actually smoke coming from the west coast of the United States, but also parts of Canada. They're having a terrible early start to fire season, and as a result, we just got these numbers in. Our air quality numbers are going up, meaning if you have a little harder time breathing otherwise, you might be noticing this smoke in the air. They're both in the moderate category for today and for tomorrow. We're going to keep that going throughout much of the rest of the week, so just keep that in mind if you have to spend a lot of time outside. Temperatures, as I mentioned, not that bad. We've had some clouds today, and that smoke, believe it or not, it limits the strength of the sun, so it's keeping us slightly cooler. Dew points aren't terrible either. They're in the mid-60s. Sticky, but not oppressive. Not finding many showers, maybe a sprinkle at the moment in Randolph County, but that's about it. Overall, I think we're going to be dry for today, for tomorrow, and even into parts of Thursday. So most of the rest of the week, not looking all that wet. We're good to go for Wednesday, Thursday, and into Friday. Temperatures will get into the upper 80s, close to 90, so it'll be heating up a little bit. Better chance for a pop-up thunderstorm or two. That'll come up on Saturday and Sunday, but not expecting a repeat of what we saw last weekend.
You know what? We have lots of reasons to smile. Day 50 to be exact. WFMY News 2's Tanya Rivera celebrating her milestone birthday by spreading joy and giving back.
A food drive is going on at the Friendly Center right now with the goal of feeding 50,000 families.
Right, and in addition to food, you can donate money to help pay for those 50,000 meals. So let's check in with Tanya now, the birthday girl. How's it going?
Things are fantastic. We are well on our way to meeting our goal of $6,600 plus the food to make 50,000 meals. You can see all of the boxes in the back are full. Now we need to fill these boxes here in the front. I've got to tell you, we've taken about 18 boxers or so to the truck already. So number one wish was feeding 50,000 meals, right? Providing that. So I want to enter in right here, Susan Cox. She's with Second Harvest. So a lot of folks will say, you know, I've given and it was great to give, and isn't that enough? Sometimes giving one time and you say, oh no, but that's gone.
Right, so it takes no time at all for what's here today to be gone. I mean, we serve across 18 counties and the need doesn't go away, whether it's during a pandemic, pre or post. That need doesn't go away. Just in Guilford County itself, over 95,000 people every night go to bed hungry.
And this is going to make a huge dent in that.
It absolutely will. Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so you know, a lot of folks say, is my donation really going to make a difference?
Every donation makes a difference because what somebody brings in, you know, that they are able to do, and then somebody else that can bring more, everything adds up. And all of this is going to make a big dent in the fight against hunger.
And then here's the other big thing. Food is a starting point, folks, right? So if you don't have to worry about what you're putting on your table at night, that gives you enough time and enough energy to focus on helping kids do homework, looking for your next job, going to your job with full energy, going to school with full energy. So the food really is just a starting point. And that was wish number one. Wish number two deals with this over here. This right here is the prize wheel. And you guys have seen this. What I love about this is that you just get something, because you know what? This year has been tough. So we wanted to just spread joy. And what's the best part about this to me is that local businesses donated all of these gift cards and these prizes, which means that you now go into those local stores and it helps the economy. So it is a win-win. All right, if you can make it here before 6:30, we would love to see you for your in-person donation or your online donation. Hey, there's that QR code that's there on the screen. You can just put that phone over that QR code and a link pops up right at the top and it takes you right to that donation page so that we can make that $6,600 goal and those 50,000 meals. And if not, you know, we are going to continue to pick up that donation link for the entire night. So you don't have to do that by 6 o'clock, but if you want to donate in person, meet a few of your News 2 friends, then that needs to be done by 6:30. We hope we see you.
Halfway through that
Halfway
goal.
there, yeah.
I
That's
saw
right.
the thermometer ticking up there. Only Tanya Rivera would give to other people on
Exactly
her
right.
birthday. She is a gem.
And also to come out, again, a lot of people hide from 50. They don't want people to know. Tanya's like, you know what, let's go on TV and talk about it.
She's 50 and fabulous.
That's right.
Some great prizes. I stopped by for a few minutes today. They have like Chick-fil-A, International Civil Rights Museum tickets. A lot of great prizes down there.
You did say Chick-fil-A, is that right?
Chick-fil-A,
I'm
yes.
just checking. Just checking. I might have to revisit that again.
Right.
All right, let's talk about this to infinity and beyond. We're not talking about Buzz Lightyear, Jeff Bezos, close. The latest billionaire to open the doors to space, sort of, even though for a short amount of time. He's taken private citizens with him. The North Carolina history that paved the way for the Blue Origin flight. Today, we'll explain coming up. So the next step in spaceflight, it is here today. 4 private citizens took a 10-minute trip to space, experiencing weightlessness as they soared above the planet. For a short amount of time there on the Blue Origin.
Yeah, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos was accompanied by, listen to these guests, his brother, named Mark, an 82-year-old aviation trailblazer, Wally Funk, and Oliver Damon, who is an 18-year-old Dutch student.
It was an exciting day, not just for the 4 people on board, but for people who watched at home and on the ground in Texas.
It's an experience for just my generation and the past generation, and like the past generations. It is driving us towards the future, I guess.
Well, I love him now.
He's brilliant.
His name is Theodore. He is 14 years old. By the way, he says he wants to be either an astronaut or a Premier League soccer player when he grows up. So big dreams there from young Theodore, who watched the rocket take off.
Extremely intelligent, you can just tell from that. All right, so Jeff Bezos brought his brother to space, and that made me ask the question on Facebook, who would you bring with you if you went to space? And here's what you had to say. Anthony says, I think I'll wait for Jesus. I love Anthony's. Catherine said, my sister and brother for sure. So 2 dead is there. She's all about that. Trish says, my daughter, Nicole. That's a good choice. Jan says, no one. I have no desire to go. And you can leave it to MD Moore to say something as, do we have to bring him back? That's the question, which makes me want to ask MD is who he's talking about. But we'll let that go.
I want to know, is the first commenter waiting on Jesus to go with him, or just waiting? Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good question, though, right?
Yes. So the whole thing, I watched the whole thing today. I was glued to it because I love space stuff. But it literally was 10 minutes to outer space and back. And the speed, did you see the speed of this thing?
I have a lot of questions.
2,000 miles
That's like
an hour
the roller coaster of a lifetime almost.
Yeah, I would like to experience weightlessness.
Yeah.
I'm still wondering who would want to go to space for fun and not research. You would.
I would love to. Wouldn't you love to do that? Look at that.
Well, if I could handle it, I can barely fly in a regular plane. But I would love to be able to do that. I'll say it that way. I just can't believe that they get to outer space and back in 10 minutes.
That's amazing.
And the landing was really incredible because, it separated and then the booster landed by itself. And then this thing comes down with the parachutes, but when it hit the bottom, they said there's a burst of air that comes out of the bottom of it. And it just went poof, and then it landed. He said it feels like you're just sat down in a chair. That's how soft it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
All the billionaires are going to space.
I know, not us.
Well,
maybe we'll get lucky.
Far from billionaire status, at least
if you know
personally.
a billionaire, maybe we could go. Yeah.
Well, I know you. How
No.
close we talking?
He's been.
So zero.
He makes the big bucks.
Not a billionaire. All right, so all this talk
Giving you
about
a hard
space
time.
today as I move along. I found out something new about the early days of the space program. I had never heard this before, and our producer Courtney said, take a look at this. So apparently the early astronauts like Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong actually did some training at the Moorhead Planetarium on the campus of UNC. So I spoke with the planetarium director, Todd Boyette, about this historical moment in their past, and he says the first question that they get is, what kind of training would astronauts do at a planetarium? The answer may surprise you.
And you have to think about what technology was like in the late 50s, early 60s, and even into the late 60s and early 70s. The navigation systems were pretty primitive, and the thinking was that if navigation systems went down, or if their settings did not hold for whatever reason, need to be reoriented, that much like the ancient mariners did back in the days of navigating the seas, that the astronauts could use the stars to find out where they were and either reset their navigation systems or, in the worst case scenario, fly home manually.
So Boyette said the entire staff at the planetarium obviously very proud of their involvement, which was at the time probably the largest global story in the 60s with the space race going on. And it was interesting because that was my first question, was I don't get what you do at a planetarium.
Right.
But can you imagine just the idea that if you went to space and you're these first astronauts, that you may have to fly back using the stars manually and come back to Earth? That's crazy.
Again, why I'm not going to space. Have y'all seen Alien?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I haven't seen it.
The original
okay,
Alien
well,
with
it's scary.
Yeah, you need to see that.
No, but I mean, UNC, making me proud.
Seriously.
Wearing the Carolina blue today. Love to see it.
And they, he said that the astronauts from the Mercury missions, some of those, and then Apollo 12 and Apollo 13, all trained at the planetarium. Very cool.
Cool. Have to go check it out.
Gotta
Yeah,
go.
it's really pretty.
It is neat.
Very cool.
I don't know if it's back open or not yet.
I don't know either.
I'll check.
You
We'll
have
do
a
that.
connection now.
I do. I know Tony. That's what
I like
call
his
it.
glasses
That's
and his headphones. He was rocking
The
it.
headphones look like the astronauts from the 60s. We're coming right back. Did I insult him? I don't think so.
All right, let's celebrate the small victories here. No flooding today. Hardly any rain, right? That's a good thing. I think so too. Across the area on this July afternoon, still a good amount of clouds that we're seeing, and that's actually kept our temperature down quite a bit. I'm going to roll you back about 4 hours and play this animation here. What you'll notice in the sky, and you've probably kind of seen this with your own two eyes if you've been driving around, there's that hazy sky. This is no coincidence. Any of your friends and family up and down the East Coast, especially in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast, are dealing with this smoke. And this is actually coming all the way across the country. You say, well, how can that happen? Well, think about the jet stream, right? We don't talk about it every day in the weather report, but it's always there. And it's transporting the air from the west coast of the U.S. all the way to the east. And right now, there's a wildfire problem out west, places like Oregon, for example, or even into Canada. And all these darker colors here showing you higher concentrations of smoke in the air. And we're starting to see this impact just the northern tier of North Carolina. It'll probably be smokier tomorrow than we've seen so far today. So this is not just a today problem. It could be something that lingers with us throughout much of the week. Now, what that can also do is dry out the air a little bit, make it harder for showers and storms to form. We haven't really had any to deal with today. And I think tomorrow should be a dry day of weather as well. A little hotter, generally in the upper 80s for Wednesday. For Thursday, more like mid 80s as a little bit of a cold front tries to get a little closer to our area. Here are my rain chances for your rest of your 7-day. We stay low for the rain chances through Friday. Slightly better chance of a pop-up come Saturday and Sunday, but I'm not canceling my outdoor plans, and I would not recommend that you do either. Just stay informed.
Making a decision is just the first step. The next part requires some action. You have to follow through on those decisions. And as Coach Lamont explains, sometimes it can feel like taking a leap off of a lily pad.
There's an old riddle that says 5 frogs are sitting on a lily pad. One decides to jump off. How many are left? If your answer is 4, congratulations, you have superior math skills. Unfortunately, this is not a story about math. It's about life. The correct answer is 5. Yes, all 5 are still on the lily pad. This is what so many of us face. The one frog decided to jump, but hasn't followed through. So many of us make a decision to do something, only to find reasons not to. It's time for you to move towards your decision so that the extraordinary life you realized can be lived. You are one leap away from the life you desire most, but you must be willing to follow through with that decision. It starts with a single step. Stop hesitating and start leaping. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best you day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Just got to take that first step.
You know, sometimes I think you have to listen to signs that tell you maybe that's not the right way to go. Because listening to that, it made me think of at one point in my career, I was going to quit my job and move to LA and try to go for everything, you know. And I was literally going to make that decision probably in the next 2 days. And then a mentor of mine offered me a job somewhere else, and it was a great job. And I thought, what if I had gone, you know? So I don't know.
You just never know where life takes you. I also think when you take that step or that jump, it doesn't have to be so big. It could be little steps that eventually become big steps. So you're just not too overwhelmed by all that change.
But I definitely think his first little intro there, making a decision sometimes can be the hardest part.
Yeah.
And then the next is the action step. But yeah, I mean, life comes at you fast.
You know, I always say though, if there's that apple hanging right there, you ought to go at least try just one time. You got to try.
You never want to look back and say, I wish I would have done that.
You know, Chilton, if you would have gone to LA, you wouldn't be standing here with us.
I know.
That's true.
And you
that
wouldn't
would
be
be
a part of
sad.
the 4 to 5.
Actually, there's no telling what would have happened to me if I'd gone to LA. Thank goodness I stayed. All right, we're coming right back. Stay there.
Should I go to
Not
LA?
good.
Should I try?
Yes.
What am I?
Is that a bird?
Look at that.
Is that a bird?
If you're watching on Facebook, we think
What
that's a
is
bird,
it?
but we're not sure. Either
What
that
if
or
what if it's not?
what if it's Independence Day? Dun, 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 dun.
We were just talking about space and aliens.
Our producer just said it
sending
was.
out a signal into the.
Courtney just said it's. Our producer said it's the frog that Coach Lamont was talking about. Yeah.
I do want to see what it is.
If it is, it's a frog with a
Is
with
that
a
Burlington?
coat on
That's Burlington.
because it looked feathery. I don't know if we can pan that camera. Well, no, if we do that, it'll take off if it's a bird. So we'll leave it alone.
Don't pan the camera.
There it is again. It's creeping back in.
Oh, so we're not chatting?
Brad, play that eagle sound effect. Or let Maddie do it. Either way. Yes.
Hey, Courtney, did you say we weren't going to chat?
Yeah, no chat. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is that good? Mm-hmm. Yes, I was very close to packing my bags.
There's still time.
How old was I? 20?
That's the thing about acting and all that. You need people of all ages,
That's true.
all looks,
Yep.
all characters.
Maybe in retirement, that's what I could do, is just try to
Definitely.
You know, I got an audition once for, I auditioned for a lot of things. I got some auditions and did some things, you know, hosted movies and stuff on the Disney Channel and had some fun. But I got what was that show with Claire Danes? It was probably 10 years ago. She was like oh my gosh, what was that show? It was on Showtime.
Greensboro teens and young adults had the chance to learn about job opportunities, all while playing one of America's favorite sports, basketball. I spoke with youth coach and mentor Stephen Matthews to find out what the citywide Peace and Prosperity basketball tournament is all about. Engage, empower, and employ. Just some of the objectives of Punch for Pound Kids, a program that provides youth mentorship through the art of boxing. Founder Stephen Matthews is stepping out of the ring and bringing his talents to the court.
And so we wanted to meet our community wherever they are. We know basketball we know how basketball is. That's a sport that everyone's going to come out to enjoy, participate in, watch.
That's why his group is hosting a citywide Peace and Prosperity basketball tournament on August 13th. The tournament will also act as a job fair geared towards youth and young adults.
Violence and unemployment falls under the umbrella of poverty. We want to be able to try to close some of those gaps.
Punch for Pound Kids held a similar job fair in May, using a kickball tournament to engage youth. Community relations consultant Camille Park says the event was a success.
With that first event, we were able to actually go and pick up young people from the public housing projects and bring them to Noco Park for a day in kickball.
Several businesses and organizations, including NC Works, Greensboro Police, and the Makersboro USA Technology Tailgate Bus took part.
And we want to just be able to offer young people an opportunity to see something different, right? If you can see something different, you can kind of dream about what that could be or how you fit into what different looks like for you.
With up to 25 employers on hand, Matthews hopes the basketball tournament will have the same effect. The basketball tournament and job fair will be August 13th at the Greensboro Sportsplex. That's from 2 to 6 p.m. For details on how to register, just look for the story on our website. We'll be right back.
Again, it is.
Oh. Mic check. Jalen. Mic check, Jalen. 1, 2, 3. On the way to the studio. Just knock it out so I can go home. Let's go. I'm ready to go home, take a nice nap. It's a nap day. It's time for a mic check. Jalen coming down the hallway, been in the corner. Boom, one more corner to go, and then we're at the double doors. Can you hear me yet? Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, sir, I can hear you. Man, there ain't nobody worried about the bald eagle. The big eagle. He wishes he was the big eagle.
During COVID. Hey, you need a mic check for me? Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination. Okay.
Is that your sound check?
Yep.
The bald eagle has touched down
Welcome back to your 4 to 5, 30 more minutes straight ahead. We're going to have fun today.
Yes, and if you didn't know, I'm about to tell you, we are live on Facebook. Head over to WFMY News 2's page. We chat with you in the comment section and we talk during the commercial breaks.
Yep, lots of fun over there. We want to get to one of our other stories today. Summer is coming to a close and the countdown to back to school is on. Starting today, Guilford County Schools is hosting Title IX training aimed at making schools safe environments for both students and the staff. WFMY News 2's Jalen Gilkey was at the training and learned why it's especially important this year.
Yeah, Lauren, you're absolutely right. This week's sessions are for the new members of the GCS staff. This fall, GCS is bringing in several employees, so the district wants to make sure these new additions are prepared to prevent incidents from happening, as well as to show and to recognize the signs of sexual assault and harassment.
We are currently providing Title IX training to our administrators new to the district or new to their levels. We had new principals and assistant principals here today, and we are trying to make sure that we continue to implement that culture of prevention by making sure that our principals know the process for Title IX and the reporting processes for it as well.
Dr. Denise Patterson is the Interim Student Services Officer for Guilford County Schools. She, as well as the district, wants their staff to be as prepared as possible for any Title IX violations.
Different people have different reactions when they experience sexual assault or abuse or bullying or harassment. We want to make sure that we're clear on those definitions because we want to not only stop it, but we want to make sure that we adhere to that culture of prevention.
And these sessions are just some of the final steps the staff at Guilford County Schools is taking to prepare for the upcoming school year, which starts for traditional students August 23rd, just 34 short days away from today.
It is right around the corner. All right, we have more news to get to. Let's take a look now at your 4 to 5 roundup. Randolph County School Board members say masks will be optional for students and staff this upcoming school year. The new policy passed with full support last night. The board said it will not matter if someone is vaccinated or not. They get to choose if they want to wear a mask. Right now, the state mask mandate still requires masks be worn in school settings. The CDC recommends people who are not vaccinated still wear masks. North Carolina state leaders want to make it easier for everyone to get a COVID-19 vaccine, including people who can't leave their homes. The state just launched a new phone line to help people who need a vaccine at home get one scheduled. The number to call is right there on your screen. It is 1-866-303-0026. You'll be able to schedule a time for someone to come to your house and give you a vaccine. And Panthers fans, the new season is almost here. The team will celebrate the start of the new season with fans this year. Did you hear that? Fans are coming back to Bank of America Stadium for Fan Fest. The fun is going to happen on Friday, August 6th. Tickets are on sale right now. They actually went live today, so grab yours. They're $5 and you can get them on the Panthers website or on Ticketmaster.
Well, not exactly football weather yet. Still kind of summerish, right? Still July after all. We're in the 80s, but I'll tell you, it could be a lot worse with the heat this time of year. Right now, many of us are only in the low 80s, and I think we'll take that pretty comfortable by July standards, at least in most of the area. But you might notice a little bit of an odd trend here, right? Farther south, a little cooler. To the north, a little warmer. Why would that be? Well, throughout the day today, you've had more cloud cover the farther south you've been. More sunshine to the north. You're heating up more. It's just that simple, and that's been the case for today. I don't really expect many showers the rest of the afternoon or into the evening. Only a low chance of a sprinkle in some spots, but you might have noticed the haze. It's not super common for us to see sort of a hazy, milky sky like we do right now. That is there for a reason. We actually have smoke moving across the entire eastern United States. It's starting out in Oregon and Canada and parts of the western United States. We have a moderate air quality alert right now, primarily for those smoke particles in the air. It's probably not enough for you to smell it, but it is there, and that's why the sky will look a little hazy, not just today and tomorrow, but honestly for several days this week. For tonight, we do cool off. That's going to be a pleasant feeling when you wake up tomorrow morning. We'll get down into the low and mid 60s, so a little bit cooler than you might expect for a summer night. Tomorrow's high temperatures, they'll be toasty though. In fact, worse than today by a lot. We'll be right around 88 to 90 degrees across the Triad. Hardly any chance of a storm. Coming up, we'll be talking more about the rest of your 7-day forecast. Where are those chances for pop-up storms as we work our way through the week?
Well, there is still time left to celebrate Tanya Rivera's 50th birthday. Woo!
Yes, she is celebrating with all of us, the entire Piedmont Triad, spreading joy with a fun prize wheel, also giving back and raising money, as well as collecting food to donate 50,000 meals.
This is a lot, Tanya.
Yes.
You've been there since before the sun came up today.
Hey guys, I gotta tell you, these two lovely ladies just sang me happy birthday. It was fantastic. They are donating all the things in their cart, which is fantastic too. All right, I'm gonna let you unload that so you guys can get on going. I so appreciate it. That is all part of making that wish of 50,000 meals. Hey, let's put up the graphics so you know what's going on today. You know, Tanya's two wishes. First wish was food donations, 50,000 meals here at Harris Teeter, all going to Second Harvest Food Bank. We're going to be here all the way through the 6 o'clock newscast, so you can come out. I got to tell you, not only are folks generous, but they have great stories to tell. So you just gave me money. Tell me about that.
Well, you said $1 will buy 7 meals.
That's right.
And I was trying to do 7 meals for each year of my life, which will be 81 in September.
Thank you for your generosity.
I have been loving hearing people's stories and why they donated certain amounts. There was even a guy here who came with all $2 bills. I put that on my Twitter feed. It's just been so cool to see how generous people are and how creative people are as well, especially since we know that we are all in this together. Yeah, they're my two wishes, but it's helping our entire community, and I just want to say thank you.
It's been
Love
going
to
great.
see it.
Well, people, I mean, rightly love Tanya because
Absolutely.
she does so much for our community, so it's only fitting that she's doing this now. Very easy, by the way, if you can't get out to Friendly Center to donate online. They even break it down for like, this is one meal, this is a box of meals, this is a box of meals for seniors, so you can pick and choose.
For those of you that don't know Tanya, and I think both of you would agree with this, and I'm not just saying this because we work here together, one of the sweetest humans on the planet, cares about everybody, always very thoughtful, and hardly ever a bad word to say. It's the truth.
Absolutely
Really
true. In the
is.
short amount of time that I've been here, she's so nice, so welcoming, and just so great that she's doing this for her birthday.
I hope that her face is turning red right now.
Oh, yeah.
She can still hear
she
us.
hates it.
She truly is one of the most helpful
Yeah,
people in the newsroom.
very helpful.
Every single
Great
department
leader.
she's involved in. So we got to help her. We got to give back 50,000 meals, and she's halfway to her fundraising goal, I
That's
think,
right.
online.
We can do it.
Getting there. All right, we're going to take a short break. We're coming right back. Stay there.
Join us on Facebook.
All right, I want you to remember this name, Michael Bella. She's only 11 years old, but this Winston-Salem native is on a path to stardom. I'm not kidding. She began modeling when she was 2, but since then, you can see her in everything from ads for Gap to her latest role on Amazon Prime's Emmy-nominated series, The Underground Railroad. Michael says it is surreal to see herself on the show.
I've gotten to at least 4 or 5 episodes fully. I kind of watch parts of each one, but I'm still kind of processing it. I feel like I'm still processing it. I probably will be forever until I don't know, until we possibly win an Emmy, which I really hope. And I'm just oh, wow, I'm a part of this and this is big.
Yeah, that series, by the way, has been nominated not for 1, but 7 Emmys, and Michael says she hopes this is the beginning of something even bigger than what she's done in her 9-year career. But she says there's one role she's always wanted to play.
I've always wanted to do something sci-fi, and I always wanted to be the star or the hero or something like that, so that would be really cool. That's probably one of my dream roles that I could make myself.
We need to make you a Marvel superhero. That's what we need to do.
Yes, yes, basically.
Yeah, The Underground Railroad, by the way, can be found right now on Amazon Prime. Very, very popular. She's on her way, right? I mean, she's halfway there now. She goes, in one of the questions that we didn't have time for, I said, what was one of your moments early on when you said, oh, now I'm doing something big? And she goes, well, this Underground Railroad is the biggest. But she goes, yeah, the 2 times I worked with Tyler Perry on the Have and Have Not. She goes, yeah, that one. And I went, oh,
that's
just Tyler Perry. Yeah, right?
That's huge.
She's on her way.
I haven't watched Underground Railroad, but it seems like she's a pretty main character. She's on the billboards and the posters for it.
She said she has, I think she said, I can't remember the name, I think it's Grace is her character's name, and then she goes, but my character has another name, and you need to watch.
Okay, well, I do want to check it out. She has just such a beautiful smile, great energy. I could just see her going really far.
She sounds to me like she's 20 years old. She's 11. You have to think about that. 11.
What was I doing at 11? Not that.
Not that.
You know, you mentioned Marvel, and I'm a super fan now. I've admitted that. There are rumors that they're doing the Young Avengers. So she needs to get in there. Call Kevin Feige.
I could see her doing that too.
Right now.
Right. Let's get on it.
All right, let's move on now because a lot of people are talking about this. It's one of those features that often tops the list when folks are looking for a home. Granite countertops, right?
And before you add it to your home, do you need to worry about the stone getting diseased?
I've never even heard of that before. So a WFMY News 2 viewer asked this question, so Megan Malaris verified.
That sound means it is time to verify. Your home is your sanctuary, the place you live life, raise your children, make memories. It's where you should feel happy. So of course you want the materials inside of your house to look good and be safe. Viewer Kimberly Childs reached out to our Call for Action team with these pictures. She explained she and her husband purchased this granite slab in 2020 and noticed black ink-like splotches in several areas. The company rep told her the spots meant the granite was diseased, but a technician assessed it and determined the granite was not diseased. Kimberly wanted some answers, so let's verify. Can granite be diseased? What does that mean? If not, what else can cause the imperfections in the material? And are there any health hazards associated with it? Our sources for this are the U.S. Geological Survey and Tom Garcia, a general contractor and the owner of Southern Evergreen Custom Homes. First, let's talk about granite. The U.S. Geological Survey says it's an igneous rock, meaning solidified from lava or magma. It comes from the Latin word granum, meaning grain, because of the grains of quartz and feldspar that define it. Garcia said there's no such thing as diseased granite, but there are imperfections in the rock itself that can appear as blemishes on the surface.
And in fact, when we pull granite out of the ground, this is what it looks like, right? It's not particularly pretty. But then you shine it up, and there you go. You got this beautiful granite. And notice in this sample, we've got a very dark spot right here, right? And if this was a large piece, we may have lots of dark spots in here. Even though granite is mostly, a lighter color. That can happen naturally, and it often does.
Or he said it can happen accidentally through human error, because remember, granite is a rock, a naturally occurring material.
It's still porous. In fact, when we look at it on the unfinished side, you can see that it's really porous. So that's why it's important that granite gets sealed. And usually you seal it once a year. It's very simple. It's a spray bottle, wipe it on, and then let it dry, and it just seals these porous holes. Because if not, what happens if red wine, things of that nature can get in here, and it can stain.
So in conclusion, we verified false. There is no diseased granite, just imperfections in the rock or human error that can cause splotches. However, if you think about the word diseased in the literal sense, granite can pose some health concerns for people. That is why during the cutting and installation process, you should wear a mask to avoid inhaling dust. Garcia also noted rock has radiation. All rock does. So do a simple home radon test after you install granite. With your Verify, I'm Megan Maleris.
Very interesting information there. Well, there are some of the moments that show the sacrifices that go into protecting our freedoms. This week, hundreds of South Carolina National Guard soldiers returned home from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, the reunions are always emotional to see the families getting to hug each other for the first time in months, in some cases years.
Yeah, but for one family, this reunion was extra special. It involved a new baby getting to meet dad for the first time.
When you come home to something like this, it makes it all worth it.
The McEntire Air Base was full of happiness, tears, love, and joy as hundreds of airmen came home after over 3 months.
We're waiting for my daddy. I'm so excited because we've been waiting for him a very long time.
I just know that he loves us so much and we mean the world to him and he means the world to us.
Kids made signs and even dogs dressed up for their reunions. One family, though, was very anxious to see their loved one again. This is baby James. His dad, Grady Patterson, arrived on the plane Sunday.
Baby James was born while he was gone, so he is 6 weeks old, and so this is the first time that Gray is meeting James and James is meeting Gray.
While many first meet their newborns in the hospital, Grady was giving back to his country. So when he stepped off the bus Sunday after landing at McEntire, his welcome home was extra special.
It was just a rush of joy and just thankfulness that we were able to go over there and do what we need to do, but get home and see him and see her and the rest of the family. Just incredible thankfulness and joy.
A reminder of the sacrifice these men and women make to keep our country safe.
Can you imagine?
No.
Like knowing your wife was at home giving birth to your child and you were overseas.
I think about the women, because that's, for her to do that. I know she probably had her family support, but to not have your spouse there with you is a big sacrifice too. The people at home do as much of a sacrifice as the ones that go.
I grew up in an Army family, and when I was in middle school, my dad was deployed in Iraq, and we were living overseas in Germany. We didn't have family there, so it does put a lot on, the spouse and the family, and I just know that great feeling of welcoming home your loved one after they've been gone for several months.
It's a great perspective.
Very exciting.
I forgot about that
Yeah.
when you told me that. So when he would return, was that always just a gigantic deal in the house?
Yeah, it was. It was a big deal because he left twice. I remember the first time he came, I didn't know he was coming, but my mom knew, and I just walked into their bedroom and he was sitting on the bed.
Gosh.
And I remember going, "Daddy!" and running. I was in the 6th grade when that happened.
That's
so.
awesome. Good stuff there. Good stuff. All right, we'll take a short break. We're coming back. It is 10 minutes to go left in the show. Well, if you looked up at the sky today, you may have noticed a little hazy skyline here, like this picture from downtown Greensboro. Check out the view from New York City. All the haze is smoke from wildfires in Canada. That smoke is just hanging out in the lower layers of the atmosphere there and heading in our direction. This happens sometimes when we see wildfires like that.
But it is a little weird, isn't it?
It's
little
strange.
weird to see even here, and you can actually just look behind us at the moment. It doesn't look like it normally does, right? We have sunny skies, but it looks hazy, and that is from those wildfires.
I think people forget that the currents can do that, can take that. We've seen it from the West Coast before, where it'll make its way almost over to the East Coast.
Yeah, a lot of this is coming in from Oregon right now. They have one of their biggest wildfires on record right now. So too does Canada. So it's kind of funny, you forget everything's connected, and then when something like this happens, a wildfire out west can make us look like this. It's kind of strange.
So what does that mean for our air quality right now?
It is decreasing, actually. So our air quality is going down a little bit. They have us in the moderate range right now, which usually means no one's going to have big problems. But if you're someone that kind of is a little more sensitive to that, maybe you have breathing trouble already, you might start to kind of feel that. And it's probably going to get worse before it gets better until we get something to clear it out. But I have a graphic. You want to see it?
Oh, let's take a look.
Let's show the graphic. Yeah, we're going to show you exactly where that is coming in from across the area. Check out that smoke. So all those darker colors, those are actually the higher concentrations of smoke moving in from the West Coast. So we're going to see this actually increasing, not decreasing, going into tomorrow. So here's where we are right now. Most of the smoke is the worst in the Midwest and like you saw up in New York City. But as we go into tomorrow, the jet stream shifts a little bit. Those wind directions coming in closer to North Carolina make it more of a smoky, hazy sky. And you'll notice that I really think tomorrow night is probably the worst that it will get. And then by Thursday and Friday, it's still going to be around here because we don't have a lot of rain on the way, nothing to really clear the air. If we had those downpours like we did last weekend, that would do the trick, but not really the case so far. So plan on it to be a little hazy, a little smoky, and honestly just kind of a weird look to the sky as we go through the rest of the week. It'll also get a little hotter. Temperatures around 90 degrees each afternoon as we welcome in the weekend.
Coming up tonight on WFLY News 2 at 5, a Guilford County Sheriff's deputy still fighting for his life after an inmate attacked him. What his wife says about his condition days after he first ended up in the hospital. That's next. Identify the person. If you have any information, you can anonymously report tips to Crime Stoppers by calling.
Hello there. I want to wish everyone a very happy Tuesday. I mean it sincerely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hi there. Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah.
Ten 9-876-54321. I think
Gonna have a beer tonight. Hey, you need a check.
Or 5. One for each decade.
Uh-huh.
It's time for my 2 cents. I once had a coach who used to say that life is peaks and valleys, highs and lows. It really is a good way to look at things for a couple of reasons. First, if you're in a valley, you can look toward a peak. When you're down and out, look to the promises ahead and have hope that you're going to get there. Remember, where you are is temporary. In your valley, find rest and gear up for the climb that is ahead of you. The same goes for people who are on a peak. Don't get comfortable. Enjoy the view, but remember, dips in elevation are inevitable. Prepare yourself for whatever is next. It might be a big drop or just a slight decline. Life's landscape is ever-changing, and there really are 2 ways to approach it. If you're only focused on reaching the peak, you're going to miss out on the lessons of the valley. But if you spend too much time dreading the valley, you won't appreciate the peak. Learn to expect the unexpected. Accept the highs and the lows, and look forward to and prepare for the future. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
We have new details about the inmate accused of attacking a Guilford County detention officer. Officer Sheldon Kaminsky has been in the ICU for 5